Thank you very much, John. Right, now we go and look at SDR on the Raspberry Pi as an entry level. Let's do it. Ben je juinig? Ja.
Okay. For the guys that don't know me, I'm Antonio. I've got some electrical background. I did training at Technicon in my younger days, and I'm working for Standard Bank as an architect at the moment. I'm enjoying the amateur hobby, and this is some of the SDR technologies which I really enjoy. And I was playing around one day with the Raspberry Pi, and I realized there's some SDR capabilities which could be manipulated quite easily. And I started to play with this, and I got a transceiver basically working with a little filter and SDR dongle. So basically what I started playing with and searching for on the internet is how to do this, maybe with a command line utility, not having SDR Sharp or GQRX or one of those applications running on the Raspberry Pi to do reception. And then obviously you've got the RTL utilities, reception, so that I got working. And then I got onto a website which had a utility called Raspberry Pi ITX. And it was quite a unique concept. And basically what they were doing is manipulating an I/O pin on a Raspberry Pi to basically generate RF. So basically they take the pin, switch it on and off. Obviously it's got a lot of harmonics. In concept, the guys even enhanced a single carrier with FM, so obviously they started using mathematics, and they got this working quite nicely. So I started playing with this. And basically what I did is I used the dongle to receive the signals, convert this into an IQ signal, Now, there was some modulation details just discussed about the IQ signal. So it's a representation of the RF signal in a baseband on a mathematical concept. And then the transmission utilities, which purely needed an audio signal to transmit or FM modulate or A modulate. I had a little gap in between because now I have an IQ signal and I need an audio signal on the other side. So I was searching around on the internet to find some utilities to do some of the demodulation for me with special filters and that kind of stuff, and I got some very nice libraries. So I started to tune some of these or link some of these utilities together. So basically what I did then from a hardware point of view is I took the SDR dongle, which will roughly give you 100 kilohertz to 1.7, and this is the HF1, not the normal blue one. We can probably use the blue one if you just want to play around on the VHF and UHF bands. But I wanted to see if this, in theory, the utility should work better on HF than on VHF, UHF. Then I started playing around, see what's the limitations of a Raspberry Pi on the top end range from a frequency point of view. I got it up to work up to about 500 megahertz roughly on a Raspberry Pi 3, Raspberry 2, maybe about 300 megs somewhere. So for the TX signal, we've got this pin that's now obviously getting modulated, and there's a couple of libraries that's available. You can even do SSB with this. You can do TV, there's a lot of modulation. So I'll show you all the utilities that's available. So then I started to do some measurements to see what kind of output impedance do I have to get at certain frequencies. Look at the output power, so there's some of the values that you can see there. That's not a bad signal, 32.7 milliwatts. And that was, I think, measured at about 144 megahertz. So that was pretty good. So I thought, let me try and see if I can fit these things together. Originally, I bought a low-pass filter because there's a lot of harmonics on this. So I just had a manual, a breadboard with some components, and I bought a filter. And then later on, I made this little board as well. I basically built the board in such a way because I needed some good hardware. I didn't want to spread a lot of harmonics. I split it up in a couple of sections. So if you look at these libraries, some of these libraries are mathematically calculating time domain intervals so that they can modulate the RF. Some libraries started to use the internal clock, which was more accurate, less harmonics, and so on and so on. So I looked at which pins these libraries could possibly utilize to modulate these I/O pins. And basically there was the timer pins that's exposed on the Raspberry Pi, and then there's the normal I/O pins, which was not linked to the timers. So by looking at this difference, I thought, let me make a board that could possibly have filters on it that could be linked to both of these pins. And then once I start playing around with the software, the filters would be there. And I basically built a board with a ceramic filter and also a normal 5-stage low-pass filter. So basically, if you look at this this device,
you can use it.
It's got a laser. Okay. So if you look at the device, this is the pin connections to the Raspberry Pi, the normal I/O pin. I then took the I/O pin output there with some jumpers. I took the one that's timer based and I took the one that's not timer based pins and made it jumper selectable to an output. I then got ceramic filters, which I basically put there, a matching circuit to a ceramic filter and a matching circuit out. Because at that stage when I was doing the design, I wasn't sure what the output impedance was. It looks like 144 megahertz, looks like about 200 to 300 ohms, so a bit higher than I expected. I bolted this first board. These ones still got 0 ohm across, so I didn't know what the matching circuits were at this stage. So it's still a bit dirty. So that part is ceramic for 144 megahertz. And then this is a 5-stage filter, which is sitting here. And this can be used for any band. You can build it up. I'll show you the details just now. So we can build it for HF bands. Some of them, the components gets a bit big to fit on the surface mount pad. But you can basically build it for HF bands and obviously for VHF and UHF. So you've got a 2-stage filter, a little board. Then I wanted to add a little power amp stage to this. And I needed a PTT to basically switch this on and off. And I've added this little circuit here, which also uses an IO pin on the Raspberry Pi to switch on your transmitter. This is basically a 2-watt. Actually, it's a Chinese module. Very cheap. I can't remember the exact price of it. And then basically you can control that from this little connector there. I also added a little power supply board. This is a low cutout regulator power board. The idea was that you can bring in 12 volts in here and you can run the whole board from here, and you have the 12 volts that this needs, and you can switch it on and off. That was the thinking behind it. So there you can see the actual path. This is double-sided box on multi-layer, so it's reasonably matched. That's matched at about 53 ohms from a design point of view. And there is the jumpers connected, and there is the 2 ports. Now, the reason why I took the ceramic one there and this one there is the ceramic ones you can probably get for band pass as well as low pass, quite sharp edges. I'll show you some of the filter curves, which is quite nice. So this is the mini circuit device. It's called, I remember the exact, this is the name of the product. And as you can see, it basically fits there. It wasn't in this photo. This is the characteristics of it. It cuts off quite nicely. If you look at the curve, 30 points is quite sharp. I think it was 145. Started, you've got an inflection loss about 2. And your first harmonic is quite downwards at about 3, somewhere here, it's already 46 down. So it's quite a nice way, quite nice low pass filter. So the signal is reasonably clean coming up. The first utility that I used for this was a bit buggy. It's still a bit buggy. So if you take the release version of it, it's still got some bugs in it. But this last week, there was a lot of activity on the website, and it actually fixed a lot of these things. So if you check this code out of the GNU repository, take the developers version. It's got a lot of new fixes in it. Okay. Right, so basically, now that we've got the hardware, the transmitter side, and receiver side, either the blue dongle or one of these, you can now do any HF band, which is, you've bought the filter for this, and then receiver for this. So you use the dongle, 2 antenna ports. So now basically what you can do with a little jumper here, you can now switch any band or any pin, the timer based or the non-timer based, to any of the 2 ports. And that's why I've got the jumpers. I think in the future that's probably not going to be necessary because the bugs are now fixed. There was a lot of harmonics, extra harmonics on the non-timer based utilities, but I think it's pretty clean now. So that should be quite nice. So you might able to stack them. You can maybe stack a few of them and then just use the jumpers to select the bands. Got the 2 bands and the focus. That's about it. Okay, then what else can you do with this? You can probably do Whisper, IPRS, SSTV, and I'll show you the utilities that's available for this: CW, Beacon, QRSS, and SSG. Here's a little table which if you want to build a 5-stage filter. Some of these components might get a bit big. You won't get it on a board. You might have to to handle it a bit, but this is sort of what you can build for the bands. So you can build the board up, or you can maybe order them pre-built. I'm thinking of assembling some of them. When I did the testing, this was my original little breadboard with a filter, and I just wired it up. It's not the best process, but I was surprised. I really was surprised with the quality of signal I got out of this. Then I started looking at utilities. This is the Raspberry Pi TX. It works on pin 7. There's a variable that you need to pass, -C1, and I'll show you some details further, which specifies if you use the timer pin or the non-timer pin. So the utilities you can switch between the pins. So that's why you can switch between bands using the utilities. Yeah, that's about it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you my excitement the first night when I got this working.
This is a quick demonstration of how the SDR repeater works. So I'm monitoring the output frequency of a Raspberry Pi using a Raspberry Pi TX utility that
Yeah.
This is a quick demonstration of how the SDR repeater works. So I'm monitoring the output frequency of a Raspberry Pi using a Raspberry Pi TX, a utility that changes a single digital pin up and down to create RF, and then the RF of that goes through a low pass filter because it's got low harmonics. And then what I've also got on the Raspberry Pi is an RTL dongle as an input. So what I've done is I'm listening on 70 centimeters and then forwarding the IQ channels to the Raspberry Pi TX utility that obviously transmits on that digital pin. So I'm monitoring the output frequency of the Raspberry Pi, and that's the spectrum you see on the screen here. I've also got a little handheld, 2-meter handheld, and the frequency there, if I'm not correct, it's set, it's the same as there is 145-300. If you can see that, I'm not sure if you can see it, yeah, 145-300. And then I've got a baffling that will transmit on a 70 centimeter side. I think, so what I'm doing, so just to show you what I've got here, it's the Raspberry Pi, there's a low pass filter, I've just got a little wire sticking out of the low pass filter at this stage. And there's an RTL dongle that goes to a little mobile antenna. Okay, so that's sort of the setup. I'm just testing it, and I got it working last week, but I could never get the sculpts to it properly. And then the problem was that you would have the RTL dongle's output noise continuously transmitting on the 2-meter side, which was not ideal. So you wanted it to be working like a repeater. So I've got the ARCs working now properly, and I've got the skulls working properly now. So what I'm going to do, I'm quickly going to just transmit the routing on the semi-semi side, and then you should see the signal here on the screen. Get the sound from the laptop as well on SDR, but I thought let me do it properly and you can listen to the quality and how it works. So listen to the audio coming through now. 06 Alpha Charlie testing 1, 2, 3. 06 Alpha Charlie testing 1, 2, 3. There's a logo on 06 Alpha Charlie testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what happened there is the routing timed out. I was transmitting too long. But yeah, it seems to work reasonably well. I can play around a little bit with the deviation. I think the deviation could be maybe a little bit high. Just take the IQ gain a little bit down. I'll check the deviation probably with some tones, do some signal to noise checks on the output, see if other mics are doing. I did do the mic checks on the low pass filter. It was pretty good. I think it was 25 dBs down, plus the mic itself was about 25 dBs down, so it should be about close to 50 dBs down. But I want to do it on a spectrum analyzer properly. Raspberry Pi output level, I'm not 100% sure. I'll put it in the power meter. But my guess is we're probably getting out probably plus 20 dB. So once I get all the signals and levels and things, I'll document properly and create a document which I'll publish how to do all this. And now I'm busy with the design for a board that you'll plug on the Raspberry Pi and you can do all this kind of stuff with the Raspberry Pi. My next step would be is to do the same that I've done with FM here, but with SSB, so it will actually become sort of a linear transponder to a certain extent. Looking at what the capabilities are, I'm sure this could be done. Looking at the bandwidth of the inputs, no problem for RTL. I want to see what is the maximum output I can push the SSB side, so maybe we can get, if I'm lucky, like 100 kilohertz or something on SSB and output. So let's see, we'll see what happens, and then I'll create a new document and document the SSB side as well. That's it for now. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so that was an exciting evening.
The morning routine rush. Got ready for work and sent to school. After lunch, grabbed a coffee and raced to work to close the deal. Lunch, handle the conference.
Right. So from there, I basically built this, designed this little board. As showed earlier, here's a little ceramic filter. Here's a five-stage filter, matching circuits. There is the PDT for the power amp stage. This is the connector to the Raspberry Pi, and it's the power supply. So that was basically the board. Now we get to the gritty of the receiver. It's all software. What's nice about this is you can design your receiver and you can send it to your friend and he's quite ready, which is quite a nice thing to think of. Just to tell you what utilities is out there, so we've got RTL FM. This is just an FM modulator. Demodulator. This is for the RTL dongle. Can actually demodulate all kinds of modulations. I think it can be SSB, FM, AM, a few other ones. There's RTL TCP/IP. Now this is so what will stream your modulated baseband signal to any other device or anything on the laptop itself or over the network to somebody else, because it's now a digital format of the modulation plus the carrier details. Raspberry ITX, this is the utility I was using to transmit or create the RF signal. I'll show you some details around that. This can do AM, FM, SSB, all kinds of modulation. There's STOSCAN TV stuff in there that the developer is developing, and these are very nice things. And this is the utility that I think you should look at. And the other utility you should look at is this one. Now, what this one does, It's got a full set of modulators, demodulators, bandpass filters, anything to do with SDR. There's, I think, if I remember correctly, there's probably 200 functional points in this thing. You can do anything with this. So by using the IQ signal coming in and using this to manipulate the data, you can modulate it, you can mix it, you can anything you like, and then eventually the output of that you will pass to this, which will be your transmitter. Now I think this is not a fantastic transmitter, so I think the next stage is to build a proper IQ modulator, and I think the next board will probably have just a better hardware and replace this with a proper modulator. These other utilities, ALSA, it's to, if you want to use a mic on the Raspberry Pi and you want to just use it as a transmitter, you will use ALSA as an input. And then this, you will pipe through to the Raspberry Pi TX to transmit. I've got a lot of examples. I've got a blog that you can go and read. There's a lot of examples. Source code is available on GitHub as well, so you can download all these things and play around. SOX is a utility that you need to use. Unfortunately, this Raspberry Pi IPX needs the audio in a specific format. So what SOX does, it's actually converting it for you in the format it likes. So what you do is you will tie up these little utilities to make a transmitter, to make a receiver, manipulate receive data, and then obviously there's a lot more to do APRS and demodulations and digital modulations that you can tie after this. So what you can do is you can use Raspberry Pi, TCP/IP, then this utility, and then your demodulators beyond this. So like, what's it, sound modem, you can add this, there's Airwolf, there's a lot of utilities you can link to the back of this to demodulate and modulate. Okay, so how did I get there? I use this command line utility. And what this will do is you can listen to a radio station, 98, just to get your RTL dongle to work in reception mode. And this will play out on the audio of your Raspberry Pi. Now, there's a trick. There's a Raspberry Pi configuration. You need to go into that menu and enable your audio port on your Raspberry Pi, otherwise you're not going to hear anything. It took me a while to puzzle that out. Sending and receiving radio modulation audio to transmitter setup. So what you can do, for instance, you could have your Raspberry Pi sitting very close to the antenna, and you want to listen to that data. You can then run this utility, and then you can connect to it remotely. This way, especially for satellite work, you don't have to have a preamp. You actually put your dongles and stuff at the antenna, and you can use a PC at the bottom to come read. So this is what you would use to get it into listening modes or transmission mode. Setting up a 2-meter transmitter, waiting for audio to transmit on port 8011. So basically what I've done here, I've used this utility to listen on port 8011, and then I use this utility to take the audio from the mic input and push it to that port there. So you're transmitting audio from your mic input transmitter. So you run both commands. You have two terminals open, you're piping the one to the other one, and basically your transmitter works. Whatever you're putting on a mic, it transmits. This little thing here is where you do the selection between those pins. I specify the timer pin and non-timer pin. So it's quite important to use the timer pin. It's much cleaner. There's not so much harmonic, so that's the correct way to do it. What I did then, this was two separate utilities. You had two terminals. I thought, can I combine these two to get it to work? And you also have to start playing around with squelch, because if you not tie the two together, you've got the reception side sending audio to the transmitter. So you don't have a squelch, you don't have all those things. So I then had to start playing with this, and this is basically what I do. This will actually specify the bandwidth you will listen on the receiving side. This is the gain. You put in your dongle on maximum gain. Obviously, you can put it in auto as well. I think if you put 0 there, it will auto AGC. Shoot, I remember what this was. This is frequency you want to use. This is demodulation you want to use. This is the CSDR utilities I was mentioning, which can do low pass filter, band pass, high pass mixers. It can even build sines, cosines, so you can now actually build baseband modulators and demodulators and all kinds of stuff with this. So I'm using this to convert, it's called conversion, to different mathematical, different mathematical, type, and then I pass it to this, and I convert it again, which is basically a format that this Raspberry Pi TX needs. So I was doing some conversions here, and then I'm passing it out to the antenna and there. So the repeater you just saw on this is the code. Simple as that. Now by using these utilities, the CSDR utility here in between, you can now do in all kinds of stuff. You can combine audio, you can put telemetry with your audio, you can do this, you can maybe add additional things to it or modulate it differently or whatever you want to do by just manipulating utilities. Okay, so what I want to show you now, for these guys it's scary for command line things, you can start up a GNU radio, and here's an example to transmit with GNU radio using the same pin utility. And basically you'll build these blocks, you can download it also from my site so you can, you don't have to struggle. And basically you start this utility up to go and listen on port 8011, and then you use this block to talk to port 8011. And then obviously you can build your own blocks in the front end of whatever you want to. So you can still use RTL as an input. Here I was just sending a wave file saying CQ, 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 I was testing it here, and it was transmitting CQ, CQ. And I think this one was demoed, I demoed this at the workshop. We had an SDR workshop for the guys, it was not. Here's the crossband repeater. So basically this is the GUI version of what I've done in the other side. So here I'm reading the RTL download in, low pass mode, wideband FM receiver. It's a utility block that I got out of these things. You can manipulate the bandwidth. Resampler, so I had to decrease the bandwidth from that to 48 kilohertz. The level was a bit low. I just played around here, added times 3, I can't remember why. I had to convert float to complex because to send it to that utility, command utility I mentioned earlier, you have to have it in complex. And this is just a little band scope that was on the screen here. It showed me what I was modulating. So you can do it pretty simple with GNU radio as well. Okay, so away from here. So what can we do with Raspberry Pi next? So me and Cor got together, we started talking about, so what should we do? Should we build a nice little board, can plug in, so we can do all these kind of things. We need a proper transmitter, not this the digital pin, which is ugly. You can't set it to any frequency. You need filter per band. How can we? So we came up with this rough design. So what we're also thinking of is to maybe you could use this as a transponder maybe later on a satellite. So if the thinking was that we will use a baseband IQ modulator, and then we use 2 10 bits D2As on STM32 or a Raspberry Pi. So we're busy with some 2 designs. One will fit on a Raspberry Pi, so you can use this utilities with a modulator, and then you'll have multiple filters on the output. And hopefully we can go up to 1.2 gigs. We're looking at some analog devices, chipsets that can do VHF, UHF, S and L bands as well. So we're thinking of that. Possibly what Hannes has presented earlier, maybe we should be able to use this maybe as a transmitter front end for the geostationary satellite that's coming up. So hopefully we might get it in time when it's up, and we can maybe use this as the front end. There is some Chinese 24-bit 192 kHz IQ baseband modules. They plug into USB port. So what you'll do on the Raspberry Pi, you have this little module, and then you will modulate this straight in there, some low-pass filter. So I'm bringing two connectors out on the board, and then maybe you can do it the Raspberry Pi that way, but bringing this connector for the STM32, and this could be a satellite transponder then, depending if you can get to that stage. So STM, very nice little processors. So the thinking is to build a board to plug in, I think if I remember it, it's this connector here, and the board will fit over here, and that's the plan. And then we will have, I think, one or two RF connectors coming out at the end. That will give you a transmitter. Reception core is working on some code to be able to read the STR, the RTL dongles. So for the beginning, we will just, this thing has got a USB port over there. We will use RTL dongles for a start. And then the next step will be is to build another board to plug on top of this one, which will be the STR, RTL dongle equivalent, which with better filtering, IDD, and so on and so on. So that's the thinking. This is just what this board can do. And if you look at the price, this thing is really powerful, and it's a really low power. It's got an SD card. It's got it was a real-time clock, which you don't always see on these little boards, which is quite nice because we were thinking for a transponder we need this at least. We need the SD to store all our telemetry data. Yeah, the other stuff is there, but I don't think it's that important. But yeah, that's the thinking. So what do we need? We're going to use the ADC. The ADC on this board is actually very powerful. It's got a DMA controller, so we can really get fast throughput. So if we want to see how wide we can get the modulation side working on that. A lot of timers available. So maybe some of those utilities that I mentioned, maybe we can port some of them across here. That will give us some telemetry capabilities to do from here quite easily. And that's it. There's some references, so I've got these links on here, so you can go and look. Here's the GitHub. This is where all the source code is, so if you want to play around. I've done a whole write-up of how this things work a while back. That's probably a starting point, then download the code here. This is to do the GNU radio stuff, the GUI stuff. You can download it from here. This is also the repeater. This utility classes that I mentioned, which I tied together. There's quite a few examples which I've got in different GitHub, which is this one. You can get it down there. And this is this actual board. You can buy it from me at the moment. It's in a kit format. We'll soon have assembly. I had a thing out on the internet to find out which bands the guys are mostly interested, and the feedback is 40 meters and 2 meters. So the first batch which we're going to build is in 40 and 2 meters. Hopefully we can still demo it. Quickly going to just start up the Raspberry Pi and then take a radio and see if we can get it to work. Those guys that's got radios, so 145-300 is the output, and I'm going to transmit on 434-412. So hopefully it works. 06 IC testing 1 2 3. 06 Alpha Echo Charlie testing 1 2 3. 06 IC testing 1 2 3. So basically you can hear there's quite a bit of a delay, and that's the software that's doing all the hard work. So if you're going to put this on a satellite, that might be a problem. Something to think about. In any case, that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed.